He was trained to kill aliens, not save their children. BR. But deep inside Sector 9, in the middle of a war zone, a human soldier found something he was never prepared for. BR. A small alien girl, scared, crying, and wearing the royal crest of the enemy queen herself. BR. He could have walked away. He should have walked away. BR. But the moment he touched her, a secret tracking mark lit up on his arm. BR. Asterisk and far across the galaxy. The alien queen opened her eyes and whispered, "He touched my daughter." BR. What happened next? Changed the future of 2 entire empires, forever. BR. But what exactly? Did she offer the human soldier in return? BR. Welcome to a new story of survival, secrets, and shocking offers. I'm Michael, the voiceover artist for this channel. Let's begin. He was never supposed to be there. A human soldier, deep inside alien territory. Surrounded by wrecked ships, burning steel, and the smell of death. And yet, in the middle of all this chaos, he found something that should never have been there. BR. A little alien girl, hiding beneath twisted metal. Eyes glowing softly in the dark. No weapons, no threat, just fear. BR. But the second he saw her, his mission changed. He didn't report her. He didn't turn away. BR. He picked her up. And when he did, the stars themselves seemed to move. Because this girl was not just anyone. BR. She was the daughter of the alien queen. And now, the queen was watching him, tracking him, and preparing BR to make an offer that would shock the entire galaxy. BR. Welcome to a new story of war, fate, and impossible choices. I'm Michael, the voiceover artist for this channel. Let's begin. Part 1, The Scrap Dump Girl. 800 words. The wind in Sector 9 was always full of ash, black dust, metal pieces, and bones. Race Carter stepped over a broken drone head, his boots sinking into a pile of melted steel. The battlefield had gone silent 2 hours ago. Only fire remained. He had survived the ambush. Barely. His squad was gone. His columns were dead. And the emergency beacon? Smashed. Race was now one man, stranded in a forbidden alien sector, with no backup. He kept moving through the wreckage. Step after step, rifle in hand, eyes scanning everything. The sun was setting behind the shattered sky shield. That's when he heard it. A soft sound. Not metal. Not wind. Not a machine. It was a whimper. Like a child, crying. Race froze. There shouldn't be anyone here. No humans. No civilians. Only death. He followed the sound. Cautious. Slow. He climbed over a broken alien walker. Past 2 dead Zalari soldiers. And then, he saw her. Hiding under a half-buried cargo pod. Covered in dust. Small hands shaking. An alien girl. Her skin was pale white, like frozen glass. Her eyes, glowing silver blue. She was no older than 5. Race raised his rifle. The child gasped and covered her face. She was scared. Helpless. Alone. No armor. No weapon. Just a soft silver band around her neck. Marked with a symbol. Race knew that mark. Every human soldier did. It belonged to Queen Zirana, the ruler of the Zalari Empire. The enemy of Earth. Race lowered his weapon slowly. His heart was pounding. He looked around. No movement. No shadows. No drones. She looked up at him. Her eyes weren't angry. They were afraid. Help, she whispered. Race didn't speak Solari, but that word was clear. Help. He dropped to one knee. His training screamed at him to walk away. To call command. To leave her. But something else, deeper, stopped him. He thought of his sister. She had died during the first invasion. Race had never been able to save her. He reached out and lifted the metal beam off the girl. She flinched. "It's okay," he said softly. "I won't hurt you." She slowly crawled out, tears running down her cheeks. Race took off his glove and wiped her face. She stared at him, like she couldn't believe he was real. He took off his jacket and wrapped her in it. She was freezing. Then, a sound. A soft beat. Race looked down at his wrist device. A mark, glowing. Red lines forming a circle, then turning green. A scanner pulse. Incoming signal. What the? The signal wasn't human. It was royal. Encrypted, alien, direct. The mark faded. His device went silent. The girl looked at it, then at him. Her lips moved slowly. She knows. Race stared at her. What? The girl touched her heart, then pointed at the sky. She knows. And that's when the realization hit him. The Queen had just found him. Tracked him. And maybe, just maybe, she was already on her way. Race stood frozen. The little alien girl was wrapped in his jacket, her skin cold, her eyes watching him like she knew something he didn't. The sky above Sector 9 had turned a deep red. The broken moons hung low like silent watchers. And the ground beneath Race's feet felt wrong. The scanner on his wrist blinked again. Not red. Not green. Blue. A color no human device had ever shown before. And that meant one thing. This was not just a signal. It was a mark. He had been claimed. A soft wind blew through the wreckage. The little girl suddenly clutched his arm. "She's coming," she whispered. Race looked down at her. "Who?" The girl pointed to the sky. "The Queen." Race's blood turned cold. Not just because of the name, but because of what it meant. Queen Zirana didn't just appear on battlefields. She ruled from orbit. From giant ships made of light and shadow. And yet, her daughter was here, alone. And Race had touched her. Protected her. Marked by her. In his earpiece, static buzzed to life. "Race Carter, identify, who activated Royal Beacon ID 0XZ? A human voice. Command. He pressed the side of his helmet. "This is Carter. I found a survivor." "Alien?" the voice asked. "Child." "No threat." There was a pause. "Carter. Do you confirm visual on crest marking code XZQUE1? Race looked at the symbol glowing on the girl's collar. He didn't speak. "Carter. Do you confirm?" He stayed silent. That was all command needed. New orders, terminate the subject immediately. Backup inbound in 5 minutes. The line cut off. Race lowered his arms slowly. Terminate? His mind raced. This wasn't just a mission anymore. It wasn't about orders. It was about her. He looked at the little girl. She stared up at him. Not scared. Not angry. Just calm. "You won't let them hurt me," she said softly. Race felt something stir in his chest. Not duty. Not fear. Something older. A promise. He turned quickly. There was a cave behind the wrecked drone piles. He picked her up and ran inside. No time to think. Just run. He slid down into the shadows of the cave, heart pounding. Outside, he heard the sound of drop jets. Human backup had arrived. They would search every inch. They would follow the signal. And they would find her. Unless he did something crazy. He took off his scanner and placed it on a dead drone. He activated a manual flare on it and threw it out the back of the cave. The signal blinked once, twice, and then blasted outward. It would fool them for a few minutes. But that's all he had. The girl placed her hand on the wall. It glowed softly, and then opened. A hidden passage. Race looked at her. She nodded. "This is my way home," she said. He hesitated. Going in meant betraying everything. His training. His people. His oath. But if he stayed, he would be forced to kill a child. And he wasn't that kind of man. Not anymore. He stepped inside. The wall closed behind them. Darkness. Then, light. Soft, blue, glowing lines lit the tunnel ahead. Alien tech. Ancient. The girl walked ahead without fear. Race followed, pulse racing. "How far does this go?" he asked. She turned. All the way to her. Race stopped. "To who?" The girl smiled. "My mother." Race stared. "You mean the Queen?" She nodded. "She wants to speak with you." Race swallowed hard. Why? Why him? Why now? He was just a soldier. Just a man trying to survive. But deep inside, he knew the truth. The second he picked up that girl, his life was no longer his own. The path curved. The light grew brighter. And ahead, floating in the air, was a throne made of light. Empty. Waiting. And beside it, a voice echoed through the chamber. "Welcome, human." Race froze. It wasn't angry. It wasn't cruel. It was soft, warm, and powerful. "I've been watching you since the moment you chose mercy over murder." The girl stepped forward and sat on the throne. It scanned her body and glowed gold. "She is my heir," the voice said. "And you are now part of her story." Race stepped back. "What do you want from me?" The voice grew closer, as if breathing down his neck. "To make you an offer." Race stood still, the throne room glowing softly around him. Alien lights moved like smoke, the walls pulsing with energy. It didn't feel like a place of war. It felt like a heartbeat, alive, watching. The little girl sat quietly on the floating throne. Wrapped in Race's old jacket, her silver eyes calm. But the voice. That voice was something else. It wasn't coming from speakers. It was everywhere. Inside his ears, inside his mind. "You held my daughter when she cried," the Queen said. "You protected her when others would have killed her." "Br." Race clenched his jaw. "I didn't do it for you." A soft chuckle echoed through the air. "I know." And then, silence. "Until I offer you safety," she said. "Protection. Power. And something no one else can give." Race raised his rifle. "Spit it out." Suddenly, from behind the glowing throne, a tall figure stepped forward. The alien queen. She wore no armor. No crown. Just a flowing cloak of silver light that didn't touch the floor. Her skin was pale, perfect. Her eyes shimmered like the stars. Hair like strands of ice, braided down her back. She was beautiful, but in a dangerous way. Not like a woman. Like a storm wearing a dress. She stood in front of Race now. Tall. Calm. Silent. Then, she knelt before her daughter, placed a hand on her head, and looked up at the human soldier. I offer you something no human has ever been given, she said. Not peace, not mercy, but legacy. Race frowned. What does that mean? The queen walked slowly toward him. You saved my child, she said. And in doing so, you've become part of our royal line. Race stepped back. What the hell are you talking about? She smiled. You touched her. Protected her. Bled for her. In my culture, that is sacred. Race's hands trembled. This was a rescue. Nothing more. To you, maybe, she said. But in our code, it means you now carry royal bond. Race laughed nervously. So what? I'm her alien godfather now? The queen tilted her head. No. You are her chosen protector. She stepped closer. And if you accept, you will not serve me. She placed a glowing ring in his hand. You will stand beside me. Race looked at the ring. It wasn't metal. It was light, shaped into a perfect circle. And it was warm. Too warm. Why me? He asked. She touched his chest just once. Because when the universe looked at you, it saw something rare. Kindness from a killer. Race's mind was spinning. He thought about Earth. His old command. His dead squad. The cold orders in his ear. Terminate the subject. They wouldn't understand this. They wouldn't care about symbols. Or sacred rules. They'd bomb this place the second they could. And yet, here was a queen offering him a place in her empire. Not as a prisoner. Not as a slave. But as something else. What happens if I refuse? He asked. The queen looked at her daughter. Then at him. She forgets you. You are hunted by both our people. And in the end, she dies alone. Race closed his eyes. There was no right choice. Only a true one. He opened his eyes. Looked at the girl. And then at the ring. Slowly, he slipped it onto his finger. The moment he did, the air cracked. Energy flowed through his arm. Symbols lit up his skin. The queen closed her eyes and smiled. It is done, she said. Suddenly, alarms blared in the distance. A red flash lit the walls. Race turned. What is that? The queen's voice turned sharp. Your people, they've found the beacon. A moment later, a giant screen opened beside them. 3 Earth warships were above the temple, preparing to strike. Race looked at the queen. We need to leave. Now. She nodded once. Then follow me, protector, and don't look back. The ground shook. Dust rained from the ceiling of the temple tunnel. Screams of metal echoed above. The first Earth warship had fired a warning shot. Race turned his head back once. He could see the glowing sky far behind them, where he had first stepped into this place. Now it was fading. And so was everything he knew. The alien queen led the way, her cloak flowing behind her. Her daughter walked beside Race, holding his hand. Still quiet. Still trusting him. Race's body burned where the ring touched his skin. The strange symbols had faded, but the warmth remained. He wasn't sure what he had become. Not soldier. Not hero. Maybe something else. Something dangerous. A new voice crackled into his earpiece. Carter, respond. We have visual on the alien temple. If you are alive, signal now. Race paused. He could lie. He could fake it. He could beg for pickup. But instead, he stayed quiet. The queen noticed. They will name you traitor, she said. He nodded slowly. I know. Back on the Earth warship Athena 7, the crew was watching the live scan. Inside the command room, General Pike stared at Race's last known position. Still no response? Nothing, sir. But the alien signal has merged with his ID band. Pike frowned. Merged? Yes. Almost like it bonded. The general turned to the tech officer. Prepare a strike package. If he's bonded with the alien queen. He sighed deeply. Then Carter is no longer one of us. Back in the tunnels, the queen stopped near a glowing arch. This way leads to my ship, she said. We'll be safe once inside. Race looked around. This whole place, you built it underground? She smiled. No. It was here long before either of us. She placed her hand on the arch. The floor trembled again. Above, the human fleet had locked on. Suddenly, the little girl tugged Race's jacket. They're talking about you, she said. He knelt beside her. Who is? She touched the side of his helmet. Your people. Race's heart sank. What are they saying? She looked sad. They think you betrayed them. He stood, face pale. The queen turned toward him. They will not stop. They will send hunters. Assassins. Lies. Race stared at her. Why are you so calm about this? She walked forward, her voice low. Because I've lived through betrayal. You have only just begun. Suddenly, the wall ahead opened. Beyond it, a massive hangar. Floating silently in the center. Her ship. Black. Sleek. Alive. It pulsed like a heart in a cave. Welcome to the Nyxora, she said. Race took one step forward, and everything inside him screamed no. But his feet moved anyway. The little girl walked ahead and smiled. This is my home. Inside the ship, it was silent. Clean. Alien. Strange. Race's boots echoed as he walked the halls. He could feel the eyes of the Queen's guards, all watching, all unsure. He wasn't a guest. Not yet. Maybe never. He was something in between. The Queen led him to a dark chamber. At the center, floating above the floor, was a glowing screen. Images flickered across it. Earth Command broadcast. Wanted, Race Carter, treason. Saboteur, dangerous, kill on sight. Race stared. His photo. His ID. His record. All stamped in red. The Queen placed a hand on his shoulder. This is the price, she said softly. Race's hands were shaking. They turned on me, in 1 hour. They never knew you, she replied. They only needed you. The screen changed again. Now showing troop movements. Earth's next move. Ships were coming. Not just to attack. To invade. To take what was theirs. And to erase anything that stood in the way. Including Race. You have a choice, the Queen said. You can run, forever. Or you can fight, for something that finally means something. Race looked at her. And what is that? She looked at her daughter, then back at him. Family. He turned slowly. Looked around the chamber. This was not Earth. This was not war. This was something deeper. Bigger. And if he walked away from it, there'd be no second chance. Race looked at the screen one last time. His name, covered in red. Lies. Then he took off his helmet. And dropped it to the floor. I'm not running. Race stood in the chamber of the Nyxora, the alien ship humming softly around him. The Queen's daughter held his hand, trusting. The Queen stood tall beside him, silent. Behind them, everything was changing. He was no longer a soldier of Earth. He was now something else. Not by choice. By fate. The walls opened with a quiet hiss. Inside the circular room beyond, 6 alien figures waited. Each one dressed in armor of different colors. Gold. silver, black, red, blue, white. These were the High Council of the Zalari Empire. They didn't bow. They didn't smile. They simply watched. Race stepped forward with the queen. The tallest counselor spoke first. "This human has broken sacred ground." Another added, "He has touched royal blood without permission." A third hissed, "He brings war with him." The queen raised her hand. "He is here because of me." The room fell silent. "I invoked the bond of protection," she said. "Before you speak of punishment, remember your oaths." The council grew uneasy. They couldn't deny it. By their ancient laws, a protector chosen by the queen could not be judged by them. Still, one elder spoke. Then he must prove his loyalty through the trial of steel. Race narrowed his eyes. "What's that?" The queen turned to him slowly. "It is a test," she said. "You must fight. Not to kill, but to stand." The room shifted again. Floor panels opened. The chamber dropped downward. Within seconds, Race was standing in a round arena. Empty. Cold. Waiting. A long hallway opened across from him. And from the darkness, a creature stepped out. 7 feet tall. Black armor. 4 arms. No face. Just a glowing red eye in the center of its chest. It moved like liquid metal. It was not alive. But it could kill. Race reached for his rifle. It wasn't there. Only a blade had been given. Short. Heavy. Human steel. The queen's voice echoed from above. "Do not fight with fear. Fight with why you're here." The creature charged. Fast. Race rolled to the side, barely missing its first strike. Claws hit the stone floor like hammers. He slashed back, hit metal. Sparks flew. The thing didn't slow down. 1 minute in. Race was bleeding. His arm sliced open. His ribs bruised. But he was still standing. He didn't run. He didn't quit. And slowly, something changed. He stopped dodging. He stepped into the creature's swing, took the hit across the side, and drove his blade straight into its glowing red core. A loud crack. A burst of light. The creature froze, then collapsed into dust. Silence filled the arena. Then, a single sound. Thud. One of the counselors placed a metal staff on the ground. The others followed. One by one. It was a sign. They had accepted him. Back in the upper chamber, the queen stood still, proud. Her daughter ran to Race as he limped out. "You didn't die," she laughed. Race chuckled through the pain. "I'll try harder next time." The queen walked forward. She placed her hands on Race's shoulders. "You stood not just for yourself," she said softly, "but for her, and for something greater." She placed a new badge on his chest. The symbol of the protector. "You are now part of the royal line," she whispered. Race looked around. He felt different. Still human. Still scarred. But now, he had meaning. He wasn't just fighting to survive. He was protecting something worth dying for. The ship's lights dimmed. A siren echoed softly in the halls. One of the guards approached quickly. "Your Majesty, Earthfleet is preparing a second wave." The queen nodded. Race turned to her. "What do we do?" She looked at him calmly. "Now, we show them who we've become." The Nyxora ship floated in silent orbit above a glowing alien moon. Inside its walls, the queen stood still, her daughter by her side. Race at her right hand, now wearing the protector's crest. He had earned the title. But now, He would have to defend it. Multiple human ships inbound, the guard said. Race leaned forward, staring at the hologram. 5 destroyers. 1 command carrier. The Queen's eyes narrowed. They're not here to talk. Race clenched his fists. They think they can take her. He looked at the little girl. She looked back, quietly holding a small necklace. My father gave me this, she said softly. Race blinked. Your father? The Queen looked away. He died long before this war began. Race knelt down beside her. You're not alone anymore. She gave him a tiny smile. But the room darkened as the human ships entered range. The Queen turned to Race. This is your choice, she said. If you wish to escape, I will not stop you. Race looked at her with steady eyes. I'm done running. Suddenly, a transmission appeared. From the human flagship. They were requesting a meeting. The Queen raised an eyebrow. Unexpected. Race nodded slowly. Let me speak with them first. The Queen agreed. 1 ship. No weapons. Race boarded the small shuttle, breathing slow. He had faced monsters, trials, death. But this felt harder. Because on the other side of that airlock was his old commander. As the shuttle docked, Race stepped into the steel hallway of the human warship. It felt cold. Familiar. Wrong. Then came the voice. Carter. General Pike stood with arms crossed. 2 guards at his side. Race didn't move. I didn't betray you, he said first. Pike scoffed. You're standing next to the woman who burned our colonies. Race replied, and you're standing in front of the people who left a child to die in wreckage. Silence. Pike stepped closer. We're not here for the Queen. Just the girl. Race's eyes narrowed. Why? Pike held up a small device. She carries tech in her blood. A living code. The kind that can shut down all human ships permanently. Race blinked. No one told me that. Pike nodded. Now you know. Give her to us, and this ends quietly. Race looked down. Thought for a moment. Then he looked up. No. Pike frowned. You understand what that means? Race turned and walked away. It means I'm protecting her. Even from you. Back on the Nyxora, alarms lit the halls. The humans weren't waiting. Race raced into the command room. They want her. Alive. Not dead. The Queen stood still. They want her power. Yes, Race said. The Queen turned to her daughter. You hold the last living royal code. Race blinked. What does that mean? The Queen looked at him. She is the final key to the Empire's defense grid. Race stepped back. Then why are you not using it? The Queen looked at her daughter, gently. Because she is not a weapon. But the humans didn't believe that. Their ships opened fire. Explosions lit the sky. The Nyxora shook. Race grabbed a rail. We need to get her out of here. The Queen looked at him. No. I will stay. You take her. Race shook his head. No. We do this together. The Queen smiled. You were once a soldier. Now you are something more. She placed a hand on his shoulder. You are her future. Race turned to the girl. She looked scared, but ready. He knelt down. Stay close to me. She nodded. Always. As the human forces prepared for boarding, Race and the Queen stepped onto the command deck. He turned to her one last time. You said I was chosen. Yes. He drew his blade. Then let them come. The sky was on fire. Human destroyers circled above like hungry beasts. Earth's finest soldiers prepared to breach the alien vessel. Inside the Nyxora, the walls hummed louder, sensing danger, sensing war. And in the center of it all, Race stood with the queen and her daughter. His blade ready, his heart steady. But deep inside, he knew this was the end of something. And maybe the beginning of something more. The queen turned to her daughter. "You remember what I taught you?" The little girl nodded. Light over fear. Heart over fire. The queen smiled, but her eyes were wet. She looked at Race. She may need to unlock the code. Race frowned. "You mean, use the thing inside her?" The queen nodded slowly. "She can command our defense grid with a single thought. But it will hurt her. It will cost something." Race stepped forward. "Then we find another way." But there was no time. The enemy was already here. The human strike team breached the lower hull. Gunfire echoed in the tunnels. The Nyxora lit up with warning sirens. Race activated the inner shield door. He turned to the queen. "Go. I'll hold them." She shook her head. "No. You hold her." Race looked down. The little girl was holding his hand tight. But her eyes were glowing brighter. Something was waking up inside her. Something ancient. Something powerful. The queen walked slowly to her daughter and knelt down. She whispered something in her language, soft and fast. Then, she kissed her forehead. The girl nodded. Then the queen turned and walked toward the coming fire. Race reached out. "Wait." She looked back once. "I was a queen born from war. But she must become something else." She smiled softly. "And you, Race, you are not just a protector anymore. You are the bridge between what we were and what we must become." Then she stepped through the smoke. The human soldiers stormed the halls. They saw her. And they opened fire. She didn't fight. She simply raised her hand. And let the walls collapse behind her, blocking the path. A final sacrifice. Race stood frozen, staring at the smoke. The little girl tugged his arm. She gave herself, for us. Race knelt beside her. "No. She gave herself, for you." He touched her forehead. "Can you stop the attack?" She nodded, quiet. "But I'm scared." Race smiled through tears. "I am too." He held her hands. "Let's do it together." She stepped onto the control pedestal. Lights spun around her. Alien symbols lit the air. And then, she spoke. A single word. Not in English. Not in Zalari. A command born from the royal code deep in her blood. The ship responded. Above the moon, the human ships froze. Power down. Engines cold. Weapons silenced. Every screen on every ship turned black. Then a symbol appeared. The royal crest. The little girl's crest. On Earth's flagship, General Pike stood in silence. He stared at the screen. "No. She's activated the failsafe," the tech said. "She controls the grid." General Pike clenched his fists. "One child just ended our entire fleet." Back on the Nyxora, Race held the girl close. Her body trembled. But she was alive. She had done it. She had saved them. Later, as the ships pulled back, as Earth realized it had no power left to fight, Race stood on the observation deck with her. The stars were calm again. No alarms. No gunfire. Just quiet. She looked up at him. "Are you still my protector?" He knelt beside her. "No," he said softly. "I'm your family now." She hugged him. He didn't let go. In the distance, the Queen's final message played in his mind. You were never meant to follow orders. You were meant to rewrite them. And he had. Race Carter, a man once called traitor, had now become legend.